Happy holidays. Welcome back to my channel. And for those of you who are new, my name is John. And although I'm an accountant, I work for a top 4 accounting firm, a couple years at an international consulting firm, and now work for a Fortune 500 company. Just want to remind you guys, I am not a financial advisor. So please do your own due diligence before relying on anything I talk about in my channel. Today, I want to talk about some of the top 10 mistakes that I see new investors make all the time. So let's get right into the video. Number 1, thinking that you can beat the markets. So when I talk about the markets, what I mean is S&P 500 index. And studies have shown that over a longer period of time, I'm talking 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years, most people, 90% plus of the people are not going to beat the S&P 500. So although I've been able to do that with the trading part of my portfolio over the last couple of years, I still, even to this day, put half my money into index funds. And mostly my retirement funds are in index funds. So I don't want to discount what the stats say, that 90% of people cannot beat the S&P 500. So I'm continuing to put half my money into index funds. Number 2, too diversified. So it's also very popular for a lot of new traders to invest in too many companies. I've seen people that have 30, 40, 50 stocks that they're invested in. And then they have a stock that goes up 300%. And then you look at their portfolio and it's 1% of their portfolio, and now it's 3% of their portfolio. So great ideas don't come around that often. And when you actually get a stock right and it goes up a couple 100%, you really want to make sure that you make enough money to make it count. And what I've seen is that there are too many people with too diversified portfolios that you can have 5 stocks go up double or triple and really still not make any money that's worthwhile. Number 3, this is the opposite. Too few positions. So just in the last couple months, I've seen people put in 50, 75, even 100% of their portfolio into one stock or one sector. And yes, if this stock or sector does really well, you're going to do great. But why would you risk all your money into one item? There really is no sure things in the market, period, no matter what anyone tells you. And having all your money in 1 or 2 stocks is just really too risky for the long term. Number 4, saying that fundamentals don't matter. I think when people invest in the stock market, especially in 2020, they think of the stock market as a game. Things go up, things go down. But in reality, when you buy a stock of a company, what you're really buying is part of a business. So if this business never makes money, in the long run, your stocks will go down. Of course, over a couple months or even 1 or 2 years, anything can happen to the stock. But I can assure you that over the long period of time, fundamentals do matter. Number 5, not counting cash as a position. So this is another thing that I see quite often. Someone has $10,000 to invest and they put $5,000 into a savings account and put $5,000 into a brokerage account. The brokerage account goes up 20%, and they proudly say they're up 20% on their portfolio. What they don't realize is that cash is also a position. So if you have half your money in the stock market and half of it in cash, essentially you only made 10% off your money. And the dangers, especially in a world where we're printing so much money, is the cash position. Anyone that has a savings account can tell you that you'll be lucky to get more than 0.5% a year on your cash. And we know inflation is at least 2 to 3% a year. In reality, some people think inflation is more than 5% a year. So every year, your cash position that's sitting there earning interest of 0.5%, you could be losing anywhere from 2 to 5% of purchasing power each year. So not including cash as part of your overall portfolio is something that I see a lot, or I see a lot of new investors make as well. Number 6, being too emotional. And too emotional with your stock could be a lot of different ways. I've seen a lot of people lose sleep over their stocks. I mean, they'll wake up in the middle of the night, check the futures, and see if their stocks are up or down. When you talk about a stock that they don't like on YouTube, you see a lot of angry comments. And that's a symbol that you're being too emotional. If you're losing sleep, getting so angry just because someone doesn't agree with you, then you probably have too much invested in these stocks. And the main purpose of investing in the stock market is to better our lives in the long run. And if you're destroying your health because of stress from investing in stocks, then you're definitely doing it wrong. Or you're investing too big of a position in your stock place. Number 7, too many options. And I've seen a lot of stats lately saying that a lot of these new investors are invested in options. When I started off the investing game 16 years ago, when I wanted to open an investment account and I wanted to trade in options, I had to fill out a bunch of stuff explaining how much years of experience I have before they would even let me touch options. Now it seems like any retail person can get an options account. And for most people that get into options, they're buying call options or put options. And what happens when you buy call and put options is like going to the casino where you're in an environment where you have a disadvantage. When your stock doesn't move when you buy a call or put option, you're essentially losing money on your call and put options. So why invest in something where you're fundamentally starting off with a disadvantage? Falling for the words easy money. And in 2020, I've seen so many places where people say, invest in this, it's easy money, invest in that, easy money. And for anyone that's been doing this for quite a lot of years, you'll slowly realize that there is no such thing as easy money. If something sounds too good to be true, then it probably is. Again, I'm talking about when you have a longer term time frame, not over a month or a couple months, because that seems like what everyone's investing for these days. As the market continues to go up, it seems like people's time frames are getting shorter and shorter. But in the long run, if something seems too good to be true, then it probably is. So take that to a warning. Number 9, doing what everyone else is doing. Now, again, if you've been investing for a couple years, you'll realize that if you're investing in something that everyone is doing, at some point you get to the point where everyone that wants the stock is already in the stock. So there's nobody left to buy anymore. My preferred approach is really to buy stuff that people don't want and get it for cheap. And as people start getting attention to it, then the stock prices will rise. And for me, one of my exit signs is when I see every single person talking about a certain stock or instrument, that's when I start to get very cautious, because then I feel like the top is near. And when everyone hates it, everyone doesn't want it anymore, that's a sign to me that something could be cheap and could be a good purchase going forward. And number 10, thinking the stock is going to be the next Tesla or Amazon. And it's such a sexy thing to say, hey, this stock will be the next Tesla, this stock will be the next Amazon. But the truth is, there's thousands of stocks out there. The stock market has been around for hundreds of years. And there is only one Amazon. There is only one Tesla. Rarely are you going to find a gem just watching a YouTube video that says the stock's going to go up 10x or 100x. I wish life was that easy, but unfortunately it's not. And listening to people talk about whether this company is going to be the next Tesla or Amazon, you're going to get a lot of these stocks wrong. So I just want to warn you guys about that. So happy holidays once again. These are just 10 tips that I wanted to give you guys for investing going into 2021. See you guys in the next video.